2016, Mr. President, this representation had the privilege and blessed of being chosen as the chairperson of the final board of judges in the search for outstanding teachers. In recognition of the exceptional contributions of our outstanding fellow Filipinos to their communities, the Senate annually honors the Metrobank Foundation awardees. Kaya Ginoong Pangulo, ngayong hapon pong ito, kasama po natin ang 10 sa mga kababayan natin na kumakatawan sa tema ng Metrobank Foundation na Beyond Excellence. Time and again, we have mentioned in this great hall that the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra. This perfectly captures the intention of this award, Mr. President. Our awardees this afternoon went above and beyond the call of duty. Ang mga pararangalan po natin ngayong taon ay tumugon sa tawag ng tungkulin at nag-apply sa kanilang serbisyo para sa kapwa at sa bayan ng buong husay at buong tapang. Hayaan niyong kilalanin ko ang bawat isa sa kanila, Ginoong Pangulo. Sila po ay sina Noel Sadinas, Nueva Vizcaya's Champion for Global Citizenship Education, Master Teacher 2, Macalong Elementary School, Nueva Vizcaya. Amando Perfecto Molin, Los Baños Mentor for Future Leaders, Secondary Teacher, South Hill School, Incorporated, Los Baños, Laguna. Maylin M. Uy, Lanao del Norte's Trailblazing Chemist for Nation Building, Professor 6, Mindanao State University, Ilagan Institute of Technology, Lanao del Norte. Angelo Mark Walag, PhD, Cagayan de Oros Pioneer for Experiential Learning, Professor 6, University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines, Misamis Oriental. Underwater Operations Man First Class, Anro Anthony Turalio, PN, Philippine Navy's Specialist Defender Against Violent Extremism. Number 6 is Colonel Ricky Canatoy, PA, Misamis Oriental's Vanguard of Peace and Development. Colonel Joey Fontiveros, PA, AFP's Cyber Ranger in Defense and Security. Police Master Sergeant Ivan Velasco, PNP's Crusader for Environmental Protection. Police Major Elmira Relox, Tawi-Tawi's Torchbearer of Healing and Compassion. And last but not the least, Mr. President, Police Colonel Frederick Obar, Ilocos Norte's Police Innovator of Transformative Reforms. Mr. President, these 10 individuals embody the very best of who we are as a people. True to this year's theme, Beyond Excellence, they are extraordinary examples of progress, integrity, and selflessness, dedicating their lives to uplifting others and making a lasting difference in their communities. Sa pangwakas, Ginoong Pangulo, I'd like to thank the Metrobank Foundation, headed by its president, our good friend, dear friend, Mr. Philip D., for their unwavering commitment to honoring excellence and promoting a higher standard of public service. Muli, sa inyo pong lahat, maraming salamat at mabuhay po ang 2025 Metrobank Foundation Outstanding Filipinos. Maraming salamat, Ginoong Pangulo.
Maraming salamat, Mr. President. Mr. President, we'd also like to insert my just to hasten the proceedings, Mr. President, because we have about 8 more members who want to deliver their sponsorship speeches. I'd like to insert for the record my sponsorship of this measure.
So inserted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, we'd now like to recognize Senator Bam Aquino, the distinguished gentleman from Tarlac and the Republic of the Philippines.
Senator Bam Aquino is recognized.
Maraming salamat, Mr. President, Mr. Majority Floor Leader. I'm very happy to co-sponsor Senate Concurrent Resolution number 90 entitled Honoring and Commending the Awardees of Metrobank Foundation Outstanding Filipinos of 2025. Let me first commend our Senate President for sponsoring this resolution. This measure honors these outstanding Filipinos and also serves as a reminder to us of how great leaders can uplift their communities and bring people together for the common good. I must also commend the Metrobank Foundation for the Outstanding Filipinos program, which celebrates its 40th anniversary this year. Through the years, this Professional Career Service Award has inspired generations of Filipinos to pursue excellence, hindi lang bilang isang layunin, kundi bilang panghabang buhay na pangako sa sambayan ng Pilipino. Mr. President, sa harap ng dami-daming issue sa ating lipunan, mahalaga na ipagbunyi natin ang husay ng mga bagong bayani, mga guro, sundalo at pulis. Ang 10 Pilipino pong ito ay nagsisilbing game changers dahil sa mga panibagong programa at inobasyon sa kanilang trabaho. So let me say a few words for each of them, and may I request them to stand up as I mention their names. Unang-una po, ang ating Metrobank Foundation Outstanding Teachers. Pinararangalan po si Ginoong Noel Sadinas bilang Outstanding Filipino dahil sa kanyang pagsulong ng edukasyon para sa indigenous people sa Nueva Vizcaya at sa pangunguna sa SPED class para sa kanila. Dahil sa kanyang dedikasyon sa nakalipas na 12 taon, nakilala din po si Ginoong Sadinas ng iba't ibang international organizations na nagbibigay ng karagdagang karangalan sa ating bansa. Maraming salamat, Teacher Noel. Sunod po, pinararangalan po si Engineer Amando Molin bilang isang outstanding Filipino dahil sa kanyang kontribusyon sa peace building at sustainability sa komunidad po niya sa Laguna for over 23 years. Dahil sa kanyang trabaho bilang guro at mentor, nabawasan ang pambubuli sa paaralan at maraming mga estudyante ang natuto kung paano maging mas innovative at creative. Maraming salamat, Engineer Aman. Sunod po, pinararangalan si Dr. Mylene Uy bilang isang outstanding Filipino dahil sa kanyang pagpapalakas ng science-related graduate program sa Mindanao. Sa loob ng 32 taon, naging inspirasyon din po siya sa isang buong henerasyon ng mga Filipino scientists. Dahil sa kanyang walang sawang pagsasanay sa mga guro at pag-coach sa mga estudyante sa research, napakita po ni Dr. Mylene na sa kabila ng limitadong resources, maaaring makamit ang excellence sa larangan ng agham. Maraming salamat, Dr. Mylene. At panghuli po sa mga outstanding teacher, si Dr. Angelo Mark Walag. Pinararangalan po siya dahil sa kanyang pangunguna sa Experiential Learning Program sa Cagayan de Oro, na gumagamit ng mga research-based at innovative na learning materials para mas madaling maintindihan ng mga estudyante. Ang trabaho, mga initiatives at programa ni Dr. Jello sa nakalipas na 13 taon ay nagpapakita ng kanyang dedikasyon na bigyan ng real-world skills ang mga mag-aaral habang binibigyang lakas ang mga gurong Pilipino. Maraming salamat, Dr. Jello. Maraming salamat sa mga guro po natin at Happy National Teachers Month din po. Hangang-hanga po kami sa inyong dedication, innovation, creativity at community-orientedness. Sigurado kami na dahil sa mga guro tulad nyo, maliwanag ang kinabukasan ng ating mga kabataan. Ngayon po, nais po nating purihin ang ating Metrobank Foundation Outstanding Soldiers. Una po, pinararangalan si Colonel Joey Fontiveros, ang inaugural Commander of the Armed Forces of the Philippines Cyber Command. Dahil siya ay bumuo ng critical systems tulad ng Cyber Assets and Risk Management Information System at Cyber EX. Dahil sa expertise ni Colonel Fontiveros, siya ang nagbibigay ng mga lecture at pagsasanay sa mga cybersecurity professionals na humuhubog sa cybersecurity ng Pilipinas. Maraming salamat, Colonel Fontiveros. Next po, si Colonel Ricky Canatoy. Dahil sa kanyang dedikasyon sa pagpapahalaga sa kapayapaan at ang pagtutok sa pag-unlad ng mga komunidad sa Misamis Oriental, mga komunidad na may paaralan, kalsada, internet connectivity, at livelihood programs para sa mga mamamayan. Si Colonel Canatoy po isang inspirasyon sa mga kapwa military officers na naniniwala na ang tunay na tagumpay ay hindi lang sa military victory kung hindi sa sustainable peace at community development. Maraming salamat, Colonel Canatoy. Panghuli po sa ating outstanding soldier, si Underwater Operationsman First Class Anro Anthony Turalio, na pinararangalan dahil sa kanyang expertise sa explosive ordnance disposal at commitment to public safety. Si Underwater Operationsman First Class Turalio ay hindi lang nagprotekta sa ating mga kababayan. Ang kanyang kontribusyon ay naging foundation din ng safety protocols ng ating bansa. Siya po'y binibigyang parangal dahil sa kanyang invaluable contribution sa disposal ng unserviceable munitions, ERWs at UXOs. Maraming salamat, Underwater Operationsman First Class Turalio. Hangang-hanga po kami sa skill, leadership at unwavering commitment ng mga sundalo na pinararangalan ng Metrobank Foundation ngayong araw. Muli po, congratulations sa ating outstanding Filipino soldiers. Last but certainly not the least, nais po natin parangalan ang Metrobank Foundation Outstanding Police Officers. Una, pinararangalan po natin si Police Colonel Frederick Obar dahil sa mga reforma nagpapahalaga sa innovation at community engagement tulad ng virtual learning system na naging modelo sa kabuuang PNP. Dahil sa mga programa at inisyatiba ni Police Colonel Obar, nakapagsulong ng parehong tiwala ng komunidad at pambansang seguridad ang ating Philippine National Police. Maraming salamat, Police Colonel Obar. Next po, si Police Major Elmira Relox. Dahil po sa kanyang laban sa anti-human trafficking at proteksyon ng mga komunidad sa Tawi-Tawi. Dahil po sa kanya, mahigit 1,300 human trafficking victims ang na-rescue over 185 operations. Si Police Major Relox din po ang nag-pioneer ng tools tulad ng Human Trafficking Route Map at TIP Take-in Form na nagpapakita ng innovative approach sa crime prevention at community protection. Maraming salamat, Police Major Relox. Panghuli po, sa ating outstanding police officers, si Police Master Sergeant Ivan Velasco. Siya po'y binibigyan parangal dahil sa kanyang innovative community and law enforcement programs, kung saan po siya ay naging inspirasyon sa mga kapwa police officers na naniniwala sa power ng sports at youth development. Si Police Master Sergeant Velasco din ay simbolo ng continuous professional development at excellence dahil po sa mahigit na 100 awards at certification sa drone piloting, scuba diving at marksmanship. Maraming salamat, Police Master Sergeant Velasco. Hangang-hanga po kami sa multifaceted approach sa policing na nagsasama-sama ng community engagement, technical skills, and athletic excellence ng ating tatlong Metrobank Foundation Outstanding Police Officer Awardees. Tulad po ninyo, patuloy din po kaming nagsusumikap na suportahan ang youth development programs at community-based crime prevention initiatives. Mr. President, nais ko pong ulitin na mahalaga, sa totoo lang po, mas mahalaga pa ngayon na ipagbunyi po natin ang mga totoong public servant. Mga tao po na nagbibigay ng kanilang oras, talento at buhay para sa ating bayan na wala pong hinihinging kapalit. Kaya po ang Metrobank na ang nagbigay parangal sa kanila at tayo po ngayon sa Senado nagbibigay ng tamang parangal sa kanila. Kaya kami po, hanga po sa Metrobank Foundation Outstanding Filipinos. Sila po'y nagniningning ehemplo ng serbisyo at kung paano po tayo dapat magsilbi bilang kawani ng gobyerno. Dear colleagues, this is why I rise today to co-sponsor this resolution, to honor these Filipinos who have given decades of their lives to serve Filipino communities across the country with honor, dignity, integrity, and excellence. Muli po, congratulations sa ating awardees. Maraming salamat, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, next to sponsor the measure is a distinguished colleague from Valenzuela and the Republic of the Philippines, Senator Win Gatchalian.
Senator Sherwin Gatchalian is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, esteemed colleagues, I'm honored to stand before you today to sponsor a resolution celebrating 10 remarkable individuals, the Metrobank Foundation's Outstanding Filipinos for 2025. Napapanahon ang gantimpalang ito, Mr. President, sa kabila ng talamak na korupsyon, sa issue ng mga flood control projects at sa pagkawala ng tiwala ng taong bayan sa pamahalaan. Hindi lang basta naging mahusay ang ating mga pinararangalan. Sila'y huwaran ng sipag, integridad at profesionalismo, mga katangiang higit na kailangan sa panahong ito. They have gone beyond excellence. They inspire us, challenge us, and remind us most vividly that the doors to the virtues of integrity, patriotism, social responsibility, and courage are opened by challenging the ways things are. Alam po natin na napakalaki ng papel ng ating mga guro sa paghuhubog ng kinabukasan ng bansa. Dahil sa kanilang tiyaga at malasakit, nabubuksan ang kaisipan ng ating mga kabataan, nahasa ang kanilang kakayahan, talino at dunong para makamit nila ang kanilang mga pangarap at makatulong sila sa pag-angat ng antas ng pamumuhay sa kanilang mga komunidad. This year, we honor 4 distinct educators who exemplify the very best in the world's noblest profession. Noel Sandinas is a trailblazer in basic education. One of his many accomplishments is the pioneering of the first special education class tailored for learners who are from our indigenous peoples. His work has earned both local and international recognition. He is truly one of Nueva Vizcaya's brightest inspirations. Engineer Amado Perfecto de la Cruz Molin has devoted more than 2 decades of his life in inspiring our youth, teaching them to confront the most pressing social issues of our time, and passing on the values of kindness and empathy. The 2 flagship programs he founded, Youth Universal Collaboration for Sustainability and Kindness for Peace, are models that our other communities and organizations can follow. Dr. Mylene M. Uy is one of the nation's brightest minds. She is renowned for her contributions in the field of natural products chemistry. She pioneers efforts to drug discovery and development with a particular emphasis on Philippine medicinal plants from Mindanao. Her legacy lives on not just in her body of work, but in the many students and teachers she has inspired to follow in her footsteps. Dr. Angelo Mark Walag is shaping the landscape of science education by seamlessly integrating technology with accessible, engaging instruction. His work on scientific literacy inspired him to develop training modules for elementary science teachers. Dr. Walag institutionalized a continuing professional learning course that equips alternative learning systems teachers with structures training across multiple strands. His work has become a blueprint for other divisions in the Department of Education and continues to make an impact on the lives of students and teachers for many years to come. Mr. President, ang sunod nating bibigyan ng parangal ay mga awardees natin mula sa militar at kapulisan. Our soldiers and police officers are our protectors, not only against the threats of crime or conflict, but also against the erosion of trust in law and the state. We honor 6 awardees, 2 from the Philippine Army, 1 from the Philippine Navy, and 3 from the Philippine National Police. Colonel Joey Fontiveros is a pioneer in the field of military cyber operations. He is the inaugural commander of the AFP's Cyber Command and serves at the forefront of safeguarding our country in the forefront of cybersecurity. Colonel Ricky Canatoy has done more than protect lives threatened by conflict. He has built bridges between communities. Colonel Canatoy's leadership has been pivotal to the stability of northern Mindanao and the return of indigenous people to Sitio Calhaan after 15 years of displacement. Underwater Operations Man First Class Anro Anthony Turalio has dedicated more than 30 years of his service to the Navy and is acknowledged by his expertise as one of the best in explosive ordnance disposal. His work saves lives and is a testament of his skill, integrity, and love for country. The tireless example of Police Colonel Frederick Obar underscores the 2 vital elements of law enforcement: a relentless pursuit of crime and unwavering commitment to work with different groups in our communities to bring people together. His leadership resulted in the dismantling of organized crime groups and the rescue of foreign kidnapped victims, which have led to greater security and more enduring trust from the public. Police Major Elmira Relox is Tawi-Tawi's vanguard against human trafficking, and like her fellow awardees, stands that the way to lasting positive change is by spending time with people on the ground to build systems that keep people safe and create a climate of active, concerned citizenry. Police Master Sergeant Ivan Velasco has done a remarkable job combining his talents as both an athlete and an officer by leading the Bola Hindi Droga initiative, which keeps our young people away from drugs, from dangerous drugs, while instilling in them a love for the active life. He has also made significant contributions in intelligence coordination and police responsiveness. Sergeant Velasco stands as a role model for any aspiring police officer. To the men and women of the Metrobank Foundation, you have my sincerest gratitude and admiration. For 40 years, this award has upheld the finest Filipino values. Beyond the recognition and praise that come with today's ceremony, the Metrobank Outstanding Filipino Awards serve as a beacon that expands our horizon of aspirations. It dares us to take on the challenges of our time and move past the deficiencies of mediocrity, complacency, and indifference towards a fairer, kinder, and more equitable vision of the world. Thank you to all that you have done and for all you continue to do. Muli, congratulations sa ating 2025 Metrobank Foundation Outstanding Filipinos. Mabuhay po kayong lahat. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Majority Leader, yes.
Next to also deliver his sponsorship speech is our dear colleague, the distinguished gentleman from Davao and Bohol, no other than Senator Bato de la Rosa.
Senator Ronald De La Rosa is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President, Majority Leader. Mr. President, it is my distinct honor to co-sponsor Senate Resolution number 90. With this resolution, we commend the Filipinos whom the Metrobank Foundation awards as the Outstanding Filipinos of 2025. Today, with renewed vigor and inspiration, we honor 10 new individuals who live individual lives following this year's theme, Beyond Excellence. Our teachers, number 1, Teacher Noel Sadinas of Nueva Vizcaya, for transforming seemingly hopeless dump sites into what I would call promising dream sites, where indigenous people have a learning and farming community. Number 2, Engineer Amando Molin, Sir Aman, as his students call him, of Laguna, for recognizing that the learning of empathy is just as important as the learning of gravitational theory. Number 3, Dr. Mylene Oy of Iligan City, for raising Mindanao students to world-class standards in science education, and for likewise helping them believe in a world far larger than their own. Number 4, Dr. Angelo Mark Walag of Cagayan de Oro City, for knowing perfectly well that learning and playing are not opposites, and instead they perfectly complement and support each other, especially in science education. Our soldiers, number 1, Underwater Operations Man First Class Andro Anthony Torralio, for your mastery of technical explosive ordnance disposal and improvised explosive devices, and the courage to put this mastery to good and effective use. Number 2, Colonel Ricky Canatoy, for being our champion for peace, balancing out combat with social development, sustaining a brand of anti-insurgency that comes simultaneously with restoration and trust. Number 3, Colonel Joey Fontiveros, Commander of the AFP Cyber Command, for defending and securing us in a space that is not as visible, not as tangible, but is just as real and open, just as dangerous, cyberspace. Our police officers, number 1, Police Colonel Frederick Ubar, for proving that there can be no hindrance to training and studying for our PNP in your creation of the virtual learning system during the pandemic. Number 2, Police Major Elmira Relox, in your 26 years of service, You have been instrumental in the creation of an environment that is safe for all women and children in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, one where vulnerability and agency are equally protected. Number 3, Police Master Sergeant Ivan Velasco. Among your many achievements, I honor you for believing in and empowering our youth to pursue more worthwhile interests as you launch the Bula Hindi Droga Basketball Clinic. Congratulations sa inyong lahat. Mr. President, I have no illusions about the times within which we now find ourselves. Ito yung mga panahon kung saan lagi ko nang nababasa sa social media ang mga katagang ang hirap mong mahalin Pilipinas. Sa kasalukuyan, marami sa ating mga kababayan ang lubog na sa tubig ulan, lubog pa sa utang. Mabuti na lang, Mr. President, dahil bawat taon, hatid ng Metrobank Foundation ang isang magandang balita. Kay rami pa rin ng mga bayaning Pilipino. Mahirap man mahalin ang Pilipinas, marami pa rin mga Pilipino ang nagsusumikap na gawing mas madali ito dahil ang kani-kanilang mga trabaho at papel ay patuloy at walang sawa nilang ginagampanan. Madalas, ang binibigay nila ay higit pa sa kinakailangan. Alam kong taon-taon binabaha rin ang Metrobank Foundation ng mga application at nominations. I cannot imagine the difficulty that the Metrobank Foundation encounters every year in attempting to narrow down the awardees to just 10 outstanding Filipinos. But somehow, they have managed to do it for 40 years, which is why we are now honoring the honorees for 2025. To the awardees I say, may your tribe increase. Huwag kayong magsawang mahalin ang Pilipinas. Huwag din kayong magsawang maging dahilan upang lalong mahalin ng bawat Pilipino ang kanyang bayan. Alam kong hindi madali, alam kong may mga bagay na hindi natin naiintindihan, pero sa tulong ninyo, sa tulong ng inyong napakagandang halimbawa, maiahon din natin ang lubog na estado ng ating bayan. Walang katapusang pagpupugay sa inyo, walang katapusang bayanihan. Maraming salamat, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, next to sponsor the measure is a distinguished gentleman from Pampanga, Cavite, and Republic of the Philippines, other than Senator Kiko Pangilinan.
Senator Francis Pangilinan is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Majority Leader. Mr. President, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it is with pride and pleasure that I rise before you today to co-sponsor Senate Resolution number 90 and give tribute to Metrobank Foundation's 10 outstanding Filipinos for 2025. Nakakatuwa at nakakataba ng puso dahil 20 years ago, naging chairman naman ako ng Board of Judges para sa final nominees sa search ng Metrobank Foundation para sa outstanding teachers noong 2005. Nakakatuwa at nakakataba ng puso dahil 40 years na ang pagpaparangal at pagbibigay pabuya. 1 million pesos kada awardee ngayong taon na ito ng Metrobank Foundation sa mga bayani ng bayan habang sila'y buhay pa. Nakakatuwa at nakakataba ng puso dahil bagamat parang nilulunod na tayo sa mga scam at skandal, marami pa rin sa ating mga lingkod bayan ang tapat at totoo sa kanilang mga sinumpaang tungkulin. Swak sa timing itong parangal para sa 10 katangi-tanging mga Pilipino ng taon sa larangan ng edukasyon, peacekeeping at defense. Swak sa timing na may headline naman ang mga nag-alay ng kanilang dugot, pawis at luha para sa serbisyo. Swak sa timing na pasikatin naman natin ang mga kawani, ang mga empleyado at opisyal ng gobyerno na may K, may D at may I. Kakayahan, dedikasyon, integridad. Sa gitna ng krisis sa edukasyon ng ating bansa, nariyan si Master Teacher 2 Noel V. Salinas ng Macalong Elementary School, Nueva Vizcaya. Nariyan din si Engineer Amando Perfecto C. Molin, guro sa South Hill School, Los Baños, Laguna. Nariyan din si Dr. Maylene M. Uy, Professor 6 ng Mindanao State University, Iligan Institute of Technology. Si Dr. Angelo Mark P. Walag, isa ring chemistry professor naman, 6 ng University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines sa Cagayan de Oro City, Misamis Oriental. Sa hanay naman ng ating sandatahang lakas, si Army Colonel Jolly T. Fontiveros, Commander ng AFP Cyber Commander, pinangalagaan ang ating military cyber defense. Nariyan din si Army Colonel Ricky L. Canatoy, Master in National Security Administration, Battalion Commander of the 58th Infantry Battalion mula 2020 hanggang 2022. Si Underwater Operationsman First Class Andro Anthony M. Turalio ng Philippine Navy, Naval Special Operations Command bilang expert sa explosive ordnance disposal. At sa hanay naman ng kapulisan, si Police Colonel Frederick Obar sa kanyang pamumuno ng anti-kidnapping group sa Philippine National Police. Nariyan din si Police Master Sergeant Ivan Velasco sa kanyang programang Bola, Hindi Droga para sa ating youth welfare and development. At si Police Major Elmira Relox bilang Provincial Women and Children Protection Desk Officer sa PNP. Maraming salamat sa inyong ehemplo, pagiging inspirasyon at natatanging serbisyo sa bayan. Napansin namin ni Senator Marcoleta at ito'y hiling namin na sana sa susunod na taon ng pag-award ng Outstanding Filipinos, meron namang mananalo sa hanay ng pagsasaka at pangingisda sa ating public service dahil sila naman ang nagpapakain sa atin. We are grateful as well to the people behind Metrobank Foundation. That through 4 decades you have helped build a strong support for good governance in our country. Indeed, the private sector has a lot to contribute in our common desire to ensure that good governance continues, will prevail and continue to prevail in our country, in our bureaucracy. Together with the Metro Bank and our outstanding awardees in public service, the nation is in good hands. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Senator Pangilinan.
Thank you very much,
Majority Leader.
Senator Pangilinan. Mr. President, next to give her a sponsorship speech is a dear colleague of ours, our distinguished gentle lady from the province of Antique, Malabon, and the Republic of the Philippines, no other than Senator Lauren Legarda.
Senator Lauren Legarda is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, it is with great honor that I rise today to co-sponsor the resolution commending and congratulating the 2025 Metrobank Foundation Outstanding Filipinos. Every year, this recognition reminds us that true public service is alive in the everyday acts of our teachers, our soldiers, and our police officers who carry out their duties with integrity, courage, and compassion. This year's awardees' selflessness can restore confidence in our systems and inspire others to follow their lead. They are not only models of competence and courage, but also role models of how true service should be rendered with integrity, humility, and compassion. As we honor them, let us be reminded that our own mandate as public servants spring from the same well of trust, the Filipino people. Our highest loyalty is not to power or to position, but to those we are sworn to serve. On behalf of this chamber, I join my colleagues in celebrating their exemplary contributions to our country. May their example continue to inspire future generations of public servants to serve with honor, humility, and love for our people. Congratulations to our teachers, Noel V. Sadinas, Amando Perfecto C. Molin, Maylene M. Uy, and Dr. Angelo Mark P. Walag. The soldiers, Underwater Operations Man First Class Anro Anthony M. Turalio, Colonel Ricky L. Canatoy, and Colonel Joey T. Fontiveros, and police officers, Police Master Sergeant Ivan A. Velasco, Police Major Elmira A. Relox, and Police Colonel Frederick E. Obar. Maraming salamat po sa inyong dedikasyon at serbisyo.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, next to sponsor the measures, our distinguished colleague from Taguig, Pateros, and the Republic of the Philippines, Senator Pia Cayetano.
Senator Pia is recognized. Pia Cayetano is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today, I rise to co-sponsor Senate Resolution Number 90, honoring and commending the awardees of the Metrobank Foundation Outstanding Filipinos of 2025. It is my honor, Mr. President, to deliver this co-sponsorship speech as I was once, as a very new senator, one of the judges of the Metrobank Foundation. The Metrobank Foundation Outstanding Filipinos Award is a celebration of what is possible when public service is performed with honor, excellence, and heart. For the award for teachers, before I continue, Mr. President, let me just say that I abbreviated the speech I will deliver because our colleagues have enumerated their many accomplishments. So for the award for teachers, let me start with this. I've been blessed to grow up with a teacher by my side, my mom, Sandra Cayetano, and my paternal grandmother, for whom I was named, Juliana Cayetano, was also a teacher. I know how valuable it is to have teachers who truly care. These awardees plant the seeds of critical thinking, compassion, and resilience in the mind of our youth. During this day of digitalization and AI, that is what counts, Mr. President, the soft skills. That, to me, is nation building in its purest form. Mr. Noel V. Sadinas of Nueva Vizcaya, known as Nueva Vizcaya's champion for global citizenship education. Mr. Amando Perfecto Molin of Los Baños, Laguna, known as Los Baños Mentor for Future Leaders. Ms. Maylene M. Uy, PhD, Mindanao State University, Iligan Institute of Technology, Iligan City, Lanao del Norte, known as Lanao del Norte's trailblazing chemist for nation building. And Mr. Angelo Mark P. Walag, PhD, University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines, Cagayan de Oro, Misamis Oriental, known as Cagayan de Oro's pioneer for experiential learning. Mr. President, amidst all the challenges in our educational system, learning gaps, resource shortages, and the recent learning recovery crisis, these educators rise above and go beyond. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. For the award for soldiers who are tasked to defend the state against foreign armed aggression and fight wars. Underwater Operations Man First Class, Anthony M. Turalio, PN, Cavite City, Philippine Navy Specialist Defender against Violent Extremists. Colonel Ricky L. Canatoy, PA, MNSA, Cagayan de Oro, Misamis Oriental, Misamis Oriental's Vanguard of Peace and Development. And Colonel Joey T. Fontiveros, PA, GSC, Quezon City, AFP Cyber Ranger in Defense and Security. Maraming salamat po. For the award for police officer who enforce our domestic laws and maintain peace and order within the country, Police Master Sergeant Ivan A. Velasco, City of Manila, PNP's Crusader for Environment Protection, and my fellow runner. Pero malamang mas malakas siya sa akin kasi mukhang fit na fit po siya. Police Major Elmira A. Relox, Parang, Maguindanao del Norte, Tawi-Tawi's torchbearer of healing and compassion. Mr. President, I need to add that we are always proud, I am always proud to see a woman excel in what was once known to be a male-dominated field. Once known. Kaya marami na rin nagdo-dominate ng kababaihan. Kapareho po ng ating awardee. Police Colonel Frederick E. Obar, Quezon City, Ilocos Norte's police innovator of transformative reforms, and my fellow triathlete. We competed together in the Bataan International Triathlon. To our awardees from the Armed Forces Police Service, you are often tasked with difficult roles, maintaining peace, upholding the law, risking your lives for the safety of others. Yet you perform your duties with discipline, courage, and above all, a respect for human rights and public trust. Maraming salamat po. You show that honor and valor are not just words etched on a medal, but values lived every day in the line of duty. To all the awardees, your achievements serve as a powerful reminder to us that across our schools, communities, and every corner of the nation, there are dedicated individuals who are creating meaningful change, often without recognition. I also extend my gratitude to the Metrobank Foundation Outstanding Filipinos 2025 Committee for your tireless efforts for always bringing this group to us year after year, and for giving us the privilege to take part in celebrating their remarkable contributions. Maraming salamat. Once again, it is a pleasure to see you, Chito, my good friend, Chito Sobrepeñas, and also to have in our presence Philip Boyet D, who officially took over just this July 15, 2025. Mabuhay po kayong lahat. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Next to give the sponsorship speech is the gentleman from Davao, no other than Senator Christopher Bongo.
Senator Christopher Bongo is recognized.
Mr. President, bilang isang Mindanaoan at isang Batanggenyo, it is my great honor to co-sponsor Senate resolution honoring and commending the awardees of the Metrobank Foundation Outstanding Filipinos of 2025. Taon-taon ating ibinibigyang pugay ang mga natatanging individual tulad ng mga guro, sundalo at pulis na nagsisilbing huwaran ng kagalingan, katapatan at malasakit sa bayan. Sa kanilang walang sawang paglilingkod, ipinapakita nila ang tunay na sukatan ng tagumpay, hindi lamang ang sariling kapakinabangan, kundi ang kabutihang na ibabahagi nila sa kapwa at sa sambayanan. To our awardees, this honor is a fitting recognition of your professionalism, competence, and integrity, an expression of our gratitude for your service to the country beyond excellence. Mr. President, the 4 outstanding teachers we are honoring today have contributed to the improvement of the quality of education in our country. They have played a significant role in molding the minds of our youth and shaping the future of our country. I would like to express my gratitude to Mr. Noel V. Sadinas, Nueva Vizcaya's champion for global citizenship education. Mr. Amando Perfecto C. Molin, Los Baños mentor for future leaders. Miss Maylin M. Uy, Lanao del Norte's trailblazing chemist for nation building. Sa Iligan po ito, Bisaya. Mr. Angelo Mark P. Walag, Cagayan de Oro's pioneer for experiential learning. To the outstanding teachers, thank you for taking on the critical role of guiding, molding, and inspiring our nation's future leaders. May you continue to impart knowledge among our youth and continue to be pillars of education. Mr. President, I am also glad to recognize the outstanding soldiers and outstanding police for their contributions in maintaining peace and security in our country. First is Underwater Operations Man First Class Anro Anthony M. Toralio, Philippines Navy Specialist Defender Against Violent Extremism. Colonel Ricky L. Canatoy, Philippine Army, Misamis Orientals, Vanguard of Peace and Development. Colonel Joey T. Fontiveros, Philippine Army, AFP Cyber Ranger in Defense and Security. Police Master Sergeant Ivan A. Velasco, PNP's Crusader for Environmental Protection. Police Major Ermira A. Relox, Tawi-Tawi's Torchbearer of Healing and Compassion. Taga Davao po ito. Police Colonel Frederick E. Obar, Ilocos Nortes Police Innovator of Transformative Reforms. To our outstanding soldiers and police officers, thank you for protecting the life and safety of our people even at the risk of your own. Ang pagkilalang ito ay hindi lamang parangal, kundi isang paalala na may mga Pilipinong handang magsakripisyo at magsilbing ilaw at inspirasyon sa gitna ng mga hamon ng ating panahon. Isa lang po ang paalala ko sa inyo, unahin po natin ang interes ng bayan, unahin po natin ang interes ng bawat Pilipino. Once again, I congratulate and thank the 10 Metro Bank Foundation outstanding Filipinos for their excellence and dedication to their respective fields of service. Maraming salamat, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, we'd just like to put on record, Senator Mark Villar would like to just insert into the records his sponsorship speech. And we also was requested by the former Senate President, Senator Escudero. He also submitted this co-sponsorship speech to be submitted for the record, Mr. President, and inserted into the records. So just for
All
the
right, so
information.
inserted into the records as manifested by the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, no other member wishes to interpolate or propose amendments to the measure. I move that we adopt proposed Senate Resolution number 90, taking in consideration proposed Senate Resolutions number 100, 109, 118, and 121, subject to style, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, proposed Senate Resolution number 90, taking into consideration proposed Senate Resolutions 100, 109, 118, and 121, subject to style, is hereby adopted.
Mr. President, may we also make all members co-author of the said resolutions, Mr. President.
Hearing no objection, the
Present.
motion is approved. Everyone is made co-author.
Thank you, Mr. President. May we ask for a minute suspension to have a photo opportunity, and you can also give the resolution to the
Session is suspended.
Thank you, Mr. President.
sa mga hindi pa po nakakaalam, ay isang modus operandi kung saan ang isang tao ay magrerenta ng sasakyan tapos hindi na po ito isusoli. Mas swabing anyo po ito ng carnapping. Ako po ay nababahala sa balitang ito dahil madami ng kaso na ganito ang nakarating sa aking programa. If you let me show some cases brought to my program.
2 days lang po niya i-rent yung sasakyan po. Tapos po, nung isang araw lang po, nag-message siya ng morning na isanla daw po ng kaibigan niya and then sinanla daw sa casino, sa financer.
May tumawag po sa akin na pwede po bang mag-rent ng sasakyan? Galing po akong Tagaytay. Mag-vacation daw po sila sa Angeles. Tinurn over ko po yung sasakyan sa kanya. Tapos po, nung kinabukasan po, tinanong ko po siya kung nasan po siya. Tas ang banggit niya po is nasangla niya daw po yung sasakyan ko na ng 250 sa tao sa casino. Pero po lahat po kami pare-pareho po siya ng sinasabi.
Nag-rent po siya sa akin. First 1 week po is yung Vios ko po na sedan. And then po, nag-extend po ng another 5 days po. So nag-pay po siya. And then dun ko po nalaman, nag-post po ako via sa Facebook po na calling the attention of this company, Katay. Tumawag po sa akin yung HR, sabi niya, na about to my concern.
Ano sabi po ng Katay?
Sabi nila, hindi daw nila empleyado si Joy Solenap. Based sa HR po. Hanggang nalaman ko lahat pala ng transaksyon from the company, siya po pala lahat, nag-forge po siya ng mga messages.
Pinaparent din niya siguro yung kotse.
Ginagamit niya po pang deliver ng medicine, sir.
Ang modus operandi po na rentangay ay talamak at kailangan na pong tutukan ng ating mga opisyal sa PNP. Ang masaklap, yung mga opisyal pa nating PNP, siguro ang dapat natin tutukan sa kanilang mga masasamang gawain. Mr. President, mas nakakabahala po sa balita na lumabas kahapon dahil ang sasakyan na nirentangay ay natagpuan or tinangay, ay natagpuan sa loob mismo ng Camp Crame at nakapark sa Married Officers Quarters kung saan nakatira ang mga matataas na opisyal ng PNP. Upang maliwanagan tayong lahat, let me go back a bit on the history of this SUV, kung paano ito nawala at paano ito nakarating sa Camp Crame. Noong July 1, 2025, may nakidnap na Chinese national ng isang grupo ng mga Chinese nationals din. According to then PNP Chief Nicolas Torre, the victim who was assisting a relative with a supposed car sale met with the individuals who turned out to be part of the kidnapping operation. After gaining the victim's trust, they took control of the vehicles and kidnapped the victim. Fortunately, on July 14, the PNP Anti-Kidnapping Group, or AKG, was able to rescue the victim in Batangas and recovered multiple vehicles, including the subject SUV. Kasama din po sa mga na-recover ang 1 million pesos, 2 firearms, illegal drugs, and uniforms for policemen and security guards. So nasa posesyon po ng PNP ang nawawalang sasakyan July 14 pa lamang. But on August 6, the owner of the SUV eventually traced it to a global positioning system, or GPS, installed in the car and saw that it was parked in the PNP MOQ, or Married Officers Quarters. Mr. President, kung ako ang may-ari ng sasakyan, di ko alam kung ako pa'y matutuwa, mainis o matatakot. Na-rent na nga yung sasakyan ko tapos bigla ko na lang matitrace ang sasakyan sa Camp Crame at sa tiraan pa ng mga matataas na officials ng PNP. Ito na po ang nakakatawa. Yesterday, September 9, explaining that the one responsible for the illegal parking is an unnamed personnel of the AKG. But according to AKG spokesperson Major Eleanor Villaruz, there was nothing irregular daw with what happened, saying that there was just a lack of parking space near their office. Wala naman daw problema doon. Tell it to the Marines. Pero bakit sabi ni PNP Headquarters Support Service, hindi daw coordinated sa kanila ang pag-park na nasabing SUV sa MOQ? Note that the Headquarters Support Service is in charge in managing the parking and traffic inside Camp Crame. Furthermore, PNP spokesperson Brigadier General Randolph Tuano said they are investigating who is liable for parking the SUV at the officers' row, and the one responsible will be punished. Ano ba talaga PNP? Walang irregularity o dapat may managot? Hindi na dapat pinagtatalunan po ito. The fact na nahanap pa ng may-ari ang kanyang sasakyan sa pamagitan ng sarili niyang GPS ay malinaw na may mali. Bakit hindi sila naimpormahan agad ng PNP? Mr. President, may tatlong problema po akong nakikita dito. Una, ang talamak na modus operandi ng rent-tangay. Paano na ba natin mapupugsa ang mga ganitong krimen? Paano mapapabilis ang paghanap ng mga natakay na sasakyan? At paano mapupugsa ang mga peking dokumento na ginagamit ng mga mangloloko? Kailangan natin ito silipin dahil maliban sa pagtangay ng sasakyan, ginagamit pa po ito sa iba pang mga criminal operations tulad ng kidnapping. Pangalawa, tila may problema na naman ang ilang mga tauhan ng PNP sa pagpapatupad ng kanilang Standard Operating Procedure, SOP, ayon sa PNP SOP number 2011-04. All carnap stolen motor vehicles, including the abandoned ones recovered by PNP units in Metro Manila, shall be turned over within 48 hours to the HPG Central Vehicle Impounding Area at Camp Crame. And within 5 working days, the concerned HPG unit that recovered, impounded a motor vehicle shall identify and inform the rightful owner that his or her lost vehicle was already recovered and under the possession of the informing unit. Thereafter, subject vehicle shall be released to the rightful owner upon presentation of proper documents and lifting of alarm. Mr. President, July 14 naganap ang operasyon ng AKG kung kailan na-recover ang SUV. Pero August 6 na-discover ito ng may-ari gamit ang GPS. Ibig sabihin, halos isang buwan na hindi pa sila nasasabihan ng nasa PNP na pala ang kanilang sasakyan. At bakit wala ito sa HPG Central Vehicle Impounding Area at nasa MOQ ito? Sa MOQ, tanging ang drivers ng senior officers ang may authority magpasok lamang ng sasakyan o ang mismong senior officers. So, kung ako pong tatanungin, may senior officer na nag-authorize na may pasok itong SUV sa MOQ area, hindi pwedeng sabihin na walang irregularity dito. Finally, this is another sign of abuse of authority and impunity in the ranks of the PNP. While our attention is focused on infrastructure projects, I would like to call the attention of PNP, lalo na under its new leadership, to double down in purging the PNP of scalawags and ninja cops. In the past years, we've had hearings here on ninja cops regarding drugs and recycling of recovered drugs. Baka hindi lang sa drugs may ninja cops. In fact, Mr. President, in a recent complaint in my program, a certain Villalin Lim said she paid for a Ford Everest unit in cash at the dealership. However, when she got into a road accident, she found out that the SUV was registered to a certain Police Corporal Jonathan Corral of the PNP Engineering Service. Corral denied being involved in the scam, but all the red flags are there. Alam ko po na nakailang resolution na po ako at nakailang privilege speech na dito tungkol sa ating mga law enforcers. Linawin ko lang po, wala po akong galit sa law enforcers at hindi ko po nilalahat sa PNP, pero hindi po ako papayag na tuloy-tuloy na nabibiktima ang ating mga kababayan ng sarili nating mga kapulisan. I hope that they recover the golden years of PNP. Naalala ko po nung si PNP Chief, si Senate President Pro Tempore Ping Lacson. He had an iron hand and implemented a strict policy directly targeting carnapping along with other criminal activities. He ordered police personnel to return illegally used carnap vehicles, and within just 2 weeks, the order led to the recovery of about 600 vehicles, which created a virtual parking lot at Camp Crame and was a significant signal of his administration's seriousness about tackling the issue. With the new PNP chief, I hope he can take a page from Senator Lacson's PNP playbook in working on PNP's operations. Lead by example and beat the system that has taken root in our PNP. On my part, I will review the laws holding are public officials involved in these irregularities criminally liable, and see if there are matters that must be changed. I would like to look into the anti-carnapping law and anti-fencing law. I would also want the help of our other government agencies, such as the MMDA and LTO, in putting in place systems to deter rent-tangay schemes. Mr. President, when there's smoke, there's a well-hidden fire somewhere. While this incident might not have made the front pages, it seemed that the problem is there, and we should not ignore it. And the leadership of the PNP must be swift in acting on this before the whole PNP burns down. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President? Yes, Mr. President?
Senator Erwin Tulfo, I
Oh,
think,
sorry. My apologies.
wishes to take the floor. Senator Erwin Tulfo is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to make a manifestation to the good gentleman from Isabela and Davao, Mr. President. Well, the good gentleman from Isabela and Davao take some questions from this representation.
Yes, Mr. President.
The privileged speech of the gentleman from Davao and Isabela is very alarming, Mr. President, wherein we know that the Philippine National Police motto is to protect and to serve. Kung ganito pong may nakikita na mga nakaw na sasakyan sa kustodiya nila at nakaparada po sa officers' quarters, iba po ang mensahe, iba po ang senyalis nito para sa ordinaryong mamayan. Now my question is, Mr. President, na-inform na po ba at alam po ba ito ng bagong hepe ng Philippine National Police ang insidenteng ito dahil ito po ay nasa officers' quarters at doon po nakatira din ang Chief PNP?
Tama po kayo, Mr. President. As a matter of fact, inibestigan na po ng Kamkrame ang insidente, pero tama kayo, sa loob mismo ng MOQ. And I've been to the MOQ before, many years ago. In fact, I think a month or so, because my uncle, Aguirre, at that time, he was a high-ranking PNP official. So alam ko mahigpit yan sa MOQ. In fact, dalawang gate ang dadaanan mo bago ka makapasok. So malaking tanong na ipasok itong SUV na ito na carnap vehicle at napayagang mag-park pa mismo doon sa loob ng MOQ. So malaking bagay po ito. And I would like to add also, Mr. President, na through the years, paulit-ulit na lang, yung mga recovered carnap vehicles ay ginagamit ng mga pulis at mga opisyalis pa man din. So paano natin matigil itong carnapping at kung ano pa mga kabalastugan na involved mga sasakyan kung mismo mga pulis ang nasa likod or kasabwat sa mga modus na ito, Mr. President.
Mr. President, alam po natin ang trabaho ng kapulisan ay protektahan ng mamayan at tiyakin ang kaayusan ng ating lipunan. Pero paano kung ilan sa kanila mismo ay sangkot sa illegal na gawain? Paano kung dapat nagtatanggol sa batas ay mismong lumalabag dito? Paano po ito, Mr. President?
Yun nga, Mr. President, ang hamon ko sa present PNP leadership na tulad ng ginawa noong Chief PNP pa, si Senator Ping Lacson. He was the Chief PNP then many years ago. I think it was back in 1999, if I'm not mistaken, na nagdeklara siya. Sabi niya, isoli nyo lahat ng mga recovered carnap vehicles na pinagagamit ninyo sa PNP. And lo and behold, in less than a week, napuno ang Kamkrame grounds dahil pinagsusoli ang lahat ng mga carnap vehicles na pinagagamit ng mga pulis. So ang aking hamon ngayon sa bagong Chief PNP, mag-issue din siya ng ultimatum na lahat ng mga carnap vehicles dyan na gamit-gamit ng mga pulis, no questions asked, i-turn over agad sa Kamkrame right now.
Mr. President, this issue strikes at the very heart of public trust in our law enforcement institutions. The involvement of police officers in illegal activities is not only deeply troubling, but also a betrayal of duty and a direct threat to the integrity of our justice system. Therefore, Mr. President, would you agree ang 2026 national budget po ng PNP ay 209 billion. Last year po ay 205 billion. Umakyat po ito ng 4 billion pa. Sangayon po ba kayo na dapat tignan po natin ang budget ng PNP at ang mga programa nila kung napupunta po ba sa tama ang budget ng Philippine National Police, Mr. President?
Tama kayo, Mr. President. Kaya nga sa darating natin ng budget hearing comes November, kailangan busisiin kung nagagamit ba ng tama yung mga budget na allocated sa kanila, especially yung kanilang intelligence funds. Kung yung ba ay tamang paggamit at napapakinabangan talaga ng taong bayan at mayroong mga nahuling kriminal o dili kaya ang mismong kriminal ay sila at dapat ma-identify kung sino-sino doon sa kanila ang naging kabaro na ng mga kriminal.
Mr. President, panghuli na lamang po, papayag po ba kayo na tanungin ang hepe po ng pambansang pulisya sa araw po ng kanilang pagpapresenta ng budget dito sa Senado para malaman po natin kung ano po ang mga planong ng bagong hepe, ano po ang direksyon ng Philippine National Police that I am sure, Mr. President, na kakaiba po ito sa operasyon, standard operating procedures o plano kumpara po sa nakaraang PNP chief. Sang-ayon po ba ang ating butihing Pangulo na matanong ang bagong PNP chief sa pag siya po ay pumasyal dito sa kanilang budget meeting?
Tama kayo, Mr. President. In fact, one thing that I can recommend is yung i-review yung disciplinary process ng NAPOLCOM sa aspeto ng PNP matters. So, yan dapat ay talagang tututukan natin at pagdating po ng budget hearing, yan ay aking tatanungin at busisiin, Mr. President.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that we refer the speech of our distinguished colleague, Senator Raffy Tulfo, and all the interpellations and manifestations to the Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs. So, Mr. President.
So ordered.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, just some admin matters on the election of the chairpersons of the committees. Mr. President, pursuant to Rule 10, Section 13 of the Rules of the Senate, I move to elect Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan as chairperson of the Committee on Justice and Human Rights, Vice Senator Alan Peter Cayetano. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Chair is none. The motion is approved. Senator Francis Pangilinan is elected chairman of the Committee on Justice and Human Rights.
And with that, Mr. President, we also, pursuant to Article 8, Section 8 of the 1987 Constitution, I move to elect Senator Francis Pangilinan as the Senate's representative to the Judiciary Bar Council. Vice Senator Alan Cayetano, I so move.
Judicial Bar Council.
Judicial and Bar Council.
Any objection? Hearing none, Senator Francis Pangilinan is hereby elected JBC representative of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I also move to elect Senator Camille Villar as chairperson of the Committee on Economic Affairs. Vice this representation, I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, Senator Camille Villar is elected chairperson of the Committee on Economic Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I move to elect as well Senator Lito Lapid as chairperson of the Committee on Cooperatives, Vice Senator Amy Marcos. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, Senator Lito Lapid is elected chairman of the Committee on Cooperatives.
And Mr. President, also after discussing with the minority floor leader earlier, under our Commission on Appointments, the minority has 9 members and we have 15 members. Therefore, if we divide that, the 15 members is an equivalent of 7.5, and the minority has 4.5. Same problem we had the last time, and therefore 0.5 will be with the minority, and 0.5 or half the year or half the term will be with the majority. Mr. President, I'm willing to back down from my seat on the CA to be able to accommodate the minority on the first half of this term, Mr. President.
We thank the Majority Leader for his magnanimity.
Thank you,
And
Mr.
is the minority ready with their 5 members?
Not yet, Mr. President, but I do have a list of our 7 members, if I may already be able to, with the permission of the body.
But if you do that, that would mean that there will be 13 members of the commission. I think we will have to wait for the 5,
Okay.
or at least -1 on their part.
I think if I elect the 7, Mr. President, we will be adding. May I ask for a minute suspension, Mr. President?
Session suspended.
While we are waiting for the minorities list of members of the CA, we'd like to move that we move that dispense with the reading of the 18th session, Tuesday, September 9, 2025, and consider the same as approved.
Any objection? Hearing none, the journal is hereby approved.
And we have a few reference of business, Mr. President. I move that we proceed with the reference of business. Just
The
the first half.
Secretary will proceed with the reference of business.
Bills on first reading, Senate number 1101, an act requiring food establishments to serve half-cup rice servings, providing penalties for violation thereof, Senator Gatchalian.
Referred to the Committees on Trade and Commerce and Agriculture.
1102, providing alternative modes of voting for persons in vulnerable situations to exercise the right of suffrage, amending RA 10366, providing funds therefore and for other purposes, Senator Gatchalian.
Referred to the Committees on Electoral Reforms, Social Justice, and Finance.
1103, creating the Philippine Rice Development Authority, defining its powers and functions, providing funds therefore and for other purposes, Senator Gatchalian.
To the Committees on Environment and Finance.
1104, an act providing for the improvement of maternal and childbirth services by establishing birthing centers, training traditional birth attendants, and institutionalizing a layaway program and appointing funds therefore, Senator Gatchalian.
Referred to the Committees on Health, Women, and Finance.
1105, strengthening and modernizing the warehouse receipts system, repealing Act Number 2137, or the Warehouse Receipts Law of 1912, and other related purposes, Senator Gatchalian.
Referred to the Committees on Trade and Finance.
1106, creating the Council for the Built Environment, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes, Senator Gatchalian.
Referred to the Committees on Civil Service and Finance. Government Reorganization and Finance.
1107, amending RA 9266, the Architecture Act of 2004 and for other purposes, Senator Gatchalian.
Referred to the Committee on Civil Service.
1108, mandating accident and life insurance coverage for construction workers, Senator Gatchalian.
Referred to the Committee on Labor.
1109, providing for moratorium, rental payments, and eviction during disasters and other emergencies, Senator Gatchalian.
To the Committees on Trade and Housing.
1110, an act establishing the rights of passengers of taxis, tourist car transport services, and other similar vehicles for hire, Senator Gatchalian.
Referred to the Committee on Public Services.
1111, mandating the Land Bank of the Philippines and the Development Bank of the Philippines to create a bank account for every unbanked Filipino and for other purposes, Senator Gatchalian.
To the Committees on Banks and Finance.
1112, regulating transportation network services, imposing and authorizing fees, providing penalties for violations, and for other purposes, Senator Gatchalian.
Referred to the Committee on Public Services.
1113, providing protection to the elderly against abuse, neglect, and exploitation, prescribing penalties for violations thereof, Senator Gatchalian.
Referred to the Committees on Justice, Social Justice, and Finance.
1114, regulating the sale of motor vehicles in Metro Manila by requiring a proof of parking space or facility from motor vehicle buyers as a prerequisite for the purchase of a motor vehicle and registration with the LTO, Senator Gatchalian.
Referred to the Committees on Trade and Public Services.
1115, strengthening the barangay as the basic local government unit by increasing its capacity to deliver services, providing salary grades, retirement benefits, and other entitlements of certain barangay officials, increasing their term of office and other purposes, amending RA 7160, the Local Government Code of 1991, and other related laws, Senator Gatchalian.
Referred to Committees on Local Government, Civil Service, and Finance.
1116, an act declaring the month of June of every year as the National Frontliners Month in the entire country, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Gatchalian.
Referred to the Committees on Health and Finance.
1117, providing for a more responsive and comprehensive regulation for the practice of the medical profession, repealing RA 2382, as amended, the Medical Act of 1959 and other laws, and for other purposes, Senator Gatchalian.
Referred to Committees on Civil Service, Health, and Finance.
1118, declaring June 27 to July 2 of every year as the National Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprise Week in the entire country, appropriating funds therefore. Senator Gatchalian.
Referred to Committees on Trade and Finance.
1119, providing guidelines for the installation and use of closed-circuit television systems, the procedure for access to the images and recordings, the prohibited acts and penalties therefore, and for other purposes. Senator Gatchalian.
To the Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs.
1120, an act renaming the Benham Rice as the Philippine Rice or Talampas ng Pilipinas, naming the undersea features therein, and for other purposes. Senator Gatchalian.
To the Committees on Environment and Foreign Relations.
1121, providing protection to freelancers, and for other purposes. Senator Gatchalian.
To the Committee on Labor.
1122, providing for the condonation of penalties for unpaid Social Security System, Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, and the Mutual Development Fund contributions of household employers relative to RA 10361, the Domestic Workers Act or Batas Kasambahay. Senator Gatchalian.
Referred to Committees on Government Corporations and Labor.
1123, an act granting Philippine citizenship to Woon Suk Heo. Senator Gatchalian.
To the Committee on Rules.
1124, amending Section 185 of the Omnibus Election Code as amended by RA 7904 by abolishing the printing of the voters' information and instruction sheets. Senator Marcos.
Referred to the Committee on Electoral Reforms.
1125, strengthening the independence of the Commission on Elections, amending pertinent provisions of BP 881, otherwise known as the Omnibus Election Code as amended, providing funds therefore and for other purposes. Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Electoral Reforms, Civil Service, and Finance.
1126, providing alternative modes of voting for persons in vulnerable situations to exercise the right of suffrage, amending RA 10366, providing funds therefore and for other purposes. Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Electoral Reforms, Social Justice, and Finance.
Senate Number 1127, increasing the authorized expenses of candidates and political parties, amending Section 13 of RA 7166, an act providing for the synchronized national and local elections and for electoral reforms, authorizing appropriations therefore and for other purposes. Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Electoral Reforms, Ways and Means, and Finance.
1128, promoting and mandating the usage of Filipino music in hotels, resorts, airports, radio stations, restaurants, and other similar establishments, tourist buses, and all flights, international and local, in the Philippines, providing penalties therefore and for other purposes. Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Culture and Tourism.
1129, declaring the 2nd of June of every year as a special day for the commemoration of the Philippines-Russia Friendship Day. Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Foreign Relations and Finance.
1130, an act declaring the 9th of August as National Indigenous Peoples Day, a special non-working holiday, and the month of August as National Indigenous Peoples Month. Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Constitutional Amendments and Cultural Communities.
1131, an act safeguarding the traditional property rights of indigenous peoples and for other purposes. Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Cultural Communities, Culture, and Finance.
1132, an act designating the second Sunday of September as the National Grandparents' Day and for other purposes. Senator Marcos.
To the Committee on Women.
1133, an act integrating basic road safety and comprehensive driver's education in the curriculum of the Enhanced Basic K-12 program. Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Basic Education and Finance.
1134, an act repealing Republic Act Number 10912, the Continuing Professional Development Act of 2016. Senator Ejercito.
To the Committee on Civil Service.
1135, an act ordaining the promotion of social enterprises to alleviate poverty, establishing for the purpose the Poverty Reduction to Social Entrepreneurship Program and providing support, benefits, and appropriations therefore. Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Trade, Social Justice, Ways and Means, and Finance.
1136, providing for simplified registration, filing of returns, and payment of income and percentage taxes, and providing for the tax relief for micro-enterprises, amending Section 74, 128, and 236 of the NIRC as amended. Senator Ejercito.
Refer to the Committee on Ways and Means.
1137, an act instituting a national land use policy, providing the implementing mechanisms therefore and for other purposes. Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Sustainable Development Goals and Finance.
1138, providing hazard pay to government employees working in hazardous conditions and appropriating funds therefore. Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Civil Service and Finance.
1139, establishing the Suporta para sa Produktong Pilipino program, appointing funds therefore and for other purposes. Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Civil Service and Trade and Local Government. Trade, Local Government, and Finance.
Senate Number 1140, an act instituting a national comprehensive framework on resilient housing and human settlements, appropriating funds therefore. Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Urban Planning and Finance.
1141, establishing a credit assistance program for overseas Filipino workers, Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Migrant Workers and Finance.
1142, providing for the administrative reform and reorganization of the Philippine Coast Guard, repealing RA 9993, the Philippine Coast Guard Law of 2009, Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Public Services, Government Reorganization, Ways and Means and Finance.
Senate number 1143, regulating the imposition of fees for the use of parking spaces located within commercial and business establishments, institutions, and other parking facilities, Senator Ejercito.
Referred to the Committee on Trade.
1144, an act instituting a national land use policy, providing the implementing mechanisms therefore and for other purposes, Senator Villanueva.
To the Committees on Sustainable Development Goals and Finance.
1145, an act expanding the coverage of the National Feeding Program, amending RA 11037, the Masustansyang Pagkain para sa Batang Pilipino Act, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes, Senator Villanueva.
To the Committees on Basic Education, Agriculture and Finance.
1146, an act providing free insurance for covered applicants of overseas employment certificates, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes, Senator Villanueva.
To the Committees on Migrant Workers and Finance.
1147, an act expanding the prohibited acts of discrimination against women on the basis of sex, amending Articles 135 and 137 of PD 442 as amended. The Labor Code of the Philippines, Senator Villanueva.
To the Committees on Labor and Women.
1148, providing for simplified registration, filing of returns, and payment of income and percentage taxes, and providing tax relief for microenterprises, amending Section 74, 128, and 236 of the NIRC as amended, Senator Villanueva.
Referred to the Committee on Ways and Means.
1149, amending Section 6 of RA 1379, otherwise known as an act declaring forfeiture in favor of the state any property found to have been unlawfully acquired by any public officer or employee, providing for the proceedings therefore and for other purposes, Senator Villanueva.
To the Committee on Justice.
1150, an act strengthening the Witness Protection, Security, and Benefit Program, amending RA 6981, the Witness Protection and Security and Benefit Act, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes, Senator Villanueva.
To the Committees on Justice and Finance. There is additional reference to business. Would you mind this, Majority Leader?
Yes, Mr. President, not at all. We may proceed.
Go
No
ahead.
objection, Mr. President.
No objection. No objection from the Deputy Minority Leader. Go ahead.
Additional reference to business bills on first reading, Senate number 1151, an act expanding employment opportunities for senior citizens, amending RA 7432, an act to maximize the contribution of senior citizens to nation building, grant benefits and special privileges, and for other purposes as amended, Senator Villanueva.
To the Committees on Social Justice and Labor.
1152, an act declaring August 9 of every year as the Philippines-Israel Friendship Day, Senator Villanueva.
Referred to the Committee on Foreign Relations.
1153, mandating government agencies and local government units to allocate at least 25% of their budget for furniture and fixture to products made of engineered bamboo and other bamboo-based commodities, Senator Villanueva.
To the Committee on Finance.
1154, providing for a Magna Carta of commuters, Senator Villanueva.
To the Committees on Public Services and Finance.
1155, stimulating the recovery, growth, and development of the micro, small, and medium enterprises for job generation and preservation, appropriating funds and for other purposes, Senator Villanueva.
To the Committees on Trade and Finance.
1156, requiring proof of available parking space for motor vehicle owners in the metropolitan areas as a prerequisite for the registration of a motor vehicle with the LTO, amending RA 4136, otherwise known as the Land Transportation and Traffic Code, and for other purposes, Senator Villanueva.
To the Committees on Public Services and Trade.
1157, an act declaring the Maramo section of the Angat River System in Barangay San Mateo, Norsagaray, Bulacan, an ecotourism destination to be known as the Maramo Nature Reserve, Senator Villanueva.
To the Committees on Tourism, Environment, and Finance.
1158, declaring the municipality of Doña Remedios Trinidad, Bulacan, an ecotourism zone, Senator Villanueva.
To the Committees on Tourism, Environment, and Finance.
1159, establishing the Aklan Piña Museum and Cultural Center in Calibo, Aklan, its satellite centers, defining its purposes and appropriating funds therefore, Senator Villanueva.
To the Committees on Culture and Arts and Finance.
1160, designating the month of November as Buy Pinoy, Build Pinoy Month to encourage the public and private sectors to prioritize the purchase and utilization of Filipino products, labor, and services, Senator Villar C.
Referred to the Committee on Trade.
1161, establishing the Waste Workers Health and Welfare Program and for other purposes, Senator Villar C.
To the Committees on Labor and Finance.
1162, establishing a comprehensive and integrated national policy and program guidelines for the operation and maintenance of dormitories and boarding houses, providing penalties and for other purposes, Senator Villar C.
To the Committees on Urban Planning and Local Government.
1163, establishing the National Cybersecurity Agency, defining their powers and functions, appropriating funds therefore, and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
To the Committees on Science and Technology, Civil Service, Ways and Means, and Finance.
1164, strengthening the Energy Regulatory Commission, amending certain sections of RA 9136, the Electric Power Industry Reform Act of 2001, and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
To the Committees on Energy, Public Services, and Finance.
1165, an act modernizing the immigration system in the Philippines, repealing Commonwealth Act 613, the Immigration Act of 1940, and for other purposes, Senator Estrada.
To the Committees on Justice, Civil Service, and Finance.
1166, promoting and supporting the development and growth of the Philippine film industry, creating for this purpose the Philippine Film Commission, and defining its powers and functions, Senator Villar M.
To the Committees on Public Information, Mass Media, Ways and Means, and Finance.
1167, an act institutionalizing local cleanup teams and increasing the fines and penalties imposed under the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000, amending for the purpose RA 9003, the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000, Senator Tulfo R.
To the Committees on Environment and Local Government.
1168, an act designating the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority as the primary agency responsible for the rehabilitation and maintenance of pumping stations under its jurisdiction, transferring said function, related assets, and records from the DPWH, appropriating funds therefore, and for other purposes, Senator Tulfo R.
To the Committees on Public Works, Local Government, and Finance.
1169, establishing the Drug Price Regulatory Board to regulate the prices of drugs and medicines in the Philippines, amending RA 9502, the Universally Accessible, Cheaper, and Quality Medicines Act of 2008, and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
Referred to the Committees on Trade, Health, and Finance.
1170, mandating annual psychiatric, psychological, drug, and physical tests for police officers, amending RA 6975 as amended, and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
Referred to the Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs.
Senate number 1171, amending Republic Act number 11036, the Mental Health Act, and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
To the Committee on Health.
1172, providing for the conduct of hybrid national, local, and Bangsamoro Autonomous Region and Muslim Mindanao elections through manual automated voting, counting, canvassing, consolidation, and transmission, amending RA 8436 as amended, and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Electoral Reforms and Finance.
1173, modifying the grounds for substitution of candidates, amending for this purpose Section 77 of Batas Pambasa Bilang 881, Series of 1985, the Omnibus Election Code, Senator Marcos.
Referred to the Committee on Electoral Reforms.
Senate number 1174, strengthening the mental health services of state and local universities and colleges, appropriating funds therefore, and for other purposes, Senator Ontiveros.
To the Committees on Higher, Technical and Vocational Education, Health, and Finance.
Senate number 1175, amending Republic Act number 11350, the National Commission of Senior Citizens Act, and for other purposes, Senator Tulfo E.
To the Committees on Social Justice and Civil Service.
Senate number 1176, defining and prohibiting elder abuse, providing penalties therefore, and for other purposes, Senator Ontiveros.
To the Committees on Justice and Social Justice.
1177, promoting the use of aeroponics, hydroponics, and aquaponics for the production of high-value fish, crops, and vegetables, and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Agriculture, Basic Education, and Finance.
1178, establishing the National Heroes Council under the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, appropriating funds therefore, and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Culture and Finance.
Senate number 1179, declaring the Paraiso T. Caribquib located in Daramuangan, Caribquib, Municipality of Bana, Ilocos Norte, an ecotourism destination, providing for its development and appropriating funds therefore, Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Tourism, Environment, and Finance.
1180, an act declaring the province of Ilocos Norte as the garlic capital of the Philippines, Senator Marcos.
Referred to the Committee on Agriculture.
1181, an act to promote and enhance the doubling of income of farmers, appropriating funds therefore, and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Agriculture, Ways and Means, and Finance.
1182, an act strengthening the National Agriculture and Fisheries Extension System to accelerate agriculture and fisheries development, appropriating funds therefore, and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Agriculture and Finance.
1183, an act ensuring the development, promotion, and protection of agricultural cooperatives, providing for the creation of the Bureau of Agricultural Cooperatives and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Agriculture, Ways and Means, and Finance.
1184, mandating law enforcement officers. Cooper-
Cooperatives also, and also to the cooperatives for Senate Bill 1183.
Senate number 1184, an act mandating law enforcement officers to use a body-worn camera during law enforcement operations, providing penalties for violation and appropriating funds therefore. Senator Estrada.
To the Committees on Public Order, Dangerous Drugs, and Finance.
Senate number 1185, an act promoting Philippine indigenous and traditional writing systems and providing for their protection, preservation, and conservation. Senator Lapid.
Referred to the Committee on Culture and the Arts.
1186, increasing the personal economic relief allowance granted to government employees to 5,000 pesos, appropriating funds therefore. Senator Lapid.
To the Committees on Civil Service and Finance.
1187, upgrading, creating additional positions in the Office of the Government Corporate Council, amending EO 878 dated 4 March 1983 as amended by EO 299 dated 26 July 1987. Senator Lapid.
To the Committees on Justice, Civil Service, and Finance.
1188, increasing the representation of Filipino migrant workers in the Board of Directors of the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation to 2 permanent members, 1 each for land-based and sea-based Filipino migrant workers. Senator Lapid.
To the Committees on Government Corporations and Migrant Workers.
1189, an act designating 2 of the 8 members of the NLRC representing the workers' organizations as representatives of land-based and sea-based overseas Filipino workers respectively, further amending Article 213 of PD 442 as amended, the Labor Code of the Philippines. Senator Lapid.
To the Committees on Labor and Migrant Workers.
1190, promoting the development and regulation of artificial intelligence in the Philippines. Senator Lapid.
To the Committees on Sustainable Development Goals, Science and Technology, and Finance.
1191, an act further amending Republic Act Number 7836, the Philippine Teachers Professionalization Act of 1994 as amended by RA 9293. Senator Lapid.
Referred to the Committee on Civil Service.
Senate number 1192, strengthening the National Nutrition Program, amending RA 11037, the Masustansyang Pagkain para sa Batang Pilipino Act, appropriating funds and for other purposes. Senator Lapid.
Referred to Committees on Basic Education and Agriculture.
1193, providing for a comprehensive nursing law towards a quality healthcare system and appropriating funds therefore, repealing RA 9173, the Philippine Nursing Act of 2002. Senator Zubiri.
To the Committees on Civil Service, Health, and Finance.
1194, creating a dental unit in every rural health unit under the Department of Health as part of the primary approach in the delivery of health services and providing funds therefore. Senator Zubiri.
To the Committees on Health and Finance.
1195, upgrading the Bukidnon Provincial Hospital in the Municipality of Maramag, Province of Bukidnon into a tertiary level 3 general hospital to be known as the Bukidnon Provincial Hospital, Maramag, under the control, supervision, and management of the Department of Health and appropriating funds therefore. Senator Zubiri.
Referred to the Committee on Rules.
1196, transferring the control and supervision of the provincial and sub-provincial jails to the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. Senator Zubiri.
To the Committees on Public Order, Local Government, and Finance.
1197, establishing the Philippine Geriatric Medical Center, otherwise known as the Senior Citizens Hospital, appropriating funds therefore. Senator Zubiri.
To the Committees on Health, Ways and Means, and Finance.
1198, an act granting the practice of microbiology in the Philippines and for other purposes. Senator Zubiri.
To the Committees on Civil Service, Science and Technology, and Finance.
1199, creating a Congressional Commission on Agriculture, Fisheries, and Food Security to review, assess, and evaluate the state of Philippine agriculture and recommend innovative and targeted policy reforms in agriculture, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Agriculture and Finance.
Senate number 1200, an act requiring elected and appointed officials of public offices, including the President of the Republic of the Philippines, to undergo an annual mandatory drug testing and institutionalizing voluntary random drug testing of candidates for electoral posts within 90 days prior to Election Day, amending for the purpose RA 9165, the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. Senator Padilla.
To the Committees on Public Order and Civil Service. Majority Leader.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, we finally have the list of the members of the Commission on Appointments. I know we need to, of course, elect the members due to the fact that we have about 4 new secretaries in 4 different departments, and we also have to do the organizational meeting as early as next week, Wednesday. So, Mr. President, on the part of the majority, I move that we elect Senator Risa Hontiveros, Senator Lauren Legarda, Senator J.V. Ejercito, Senator Rafi Tulfo, Senator Mark Villar, Senator Ping Lacson, and Senator Lito Lapid, who will be taking his first term as a member of the CA. So that's 7 members, Your Honor.
Any objection? Chair hears none. The enumerated names are hereby elected into the commission appointments.
And for the part of the minority, we'd like to also elect, with the permission of the body, Senator Joel Villanueva, Senator Christopher Bongo, Senator Rodante Marcoleta, Senator Amy Marcos, and the .5 and my .5, as I mentioned earlier, I will step down from the CA, Mr. President, to accommodate the member of the minority to stand the first half of the term. And that would be Senator Jinggoy Estrada, Mr. President.
Any objection? Chair hears none. The enumerated names will compose the 5 members from the minority.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. With that, Mr. President, there are no further agenda at hand. I move that we adjourn the session until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 15, 2025. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President.
Any objection? Chair hears none. The session is adjourned until 3 o'clock in the afternoon of Monday, September 15, 2025.